Okay, so look, the Gemara and Baba, you're right. So there's two mitzvot in the Torah, right? Rabbi Gavriel. There's one in Parashat Mishpatim. Ki tirei hamor sana'acha rovetz tahat masao hadalta me'azov lo azov ta'azov imo. Azov ta'azov imo is one mitzvah, which means azov ta'azov. We'll see in a minute what that is. And then we have one in this week's parasha. What's the mitzvah in this week's parasha? Hakem takim imo. Hakem takim imo. So over there, the Mishnah is saying as follows. It's a mitzvah to unload an animal of your neighbor's, let's say a donkey, that's lying down from the heavy load, right? However, if it fell off because of the weight being too heavy, the Mishnah says it's not a mitzvah to help load it. So the Gemara is arguing why it's not a mitzvah to help load it. So they said there's a machloket between Rabbanan and Rabbi Shimon. Feel free to chime if anything. Okay, so the Gemara it brings a pasuk from Mishpatim which says Azov ta'azov imo, which means to help the animal unload the weight from its body. That's Azov ta'azov imo. All right, and in Parashat Shofti means Hakem takim imo, means to load the animal. So to unload the animal in one place and to load the animal in the other place. So why does the Mishnah say that it's only a mitzvah to help him unload it? There's a two psukim, right? Two psukim. So it's a machloket. According to Rabbi Shimon, he says it's a mitzvah deoraita to do both. For free. You don't. What does it mean for free? Meaning even if the guy doesn't want to tell you, the katuv, the pasuk says that you have to do it, money, no money, you have to do it. No one's paying you for tefillin. Why should this mitzvah be different? The Rabbanan say no. Unloading is free because that's mefurash, a pasuk in the Torah. We'll see in a minute why they hold the second one's not. So unloading is free, but load, to help him load a donkey or whatever the animal is, that one you can charge. So which means that it seems like the loading of the donkey is fundamentally different. You could charge it. Perhaps you want to tell me that's not a mitzvah deoraita, that's why you're allowed to charge. So what's the difference? So the Gemara there hints out that the Rabbanan hold of Tsar Ba'alei Chaim. Tsar Ba'alei Chaim, which means that why do you have to help unload an animal? Because it's too heavy. Rovetz tachat masao means it's struggling with the weight on its back. So because the animal is struggling with the weight on its back, then we have Tsar Ba'alei Chaim here. So because there's Tsar Ba'alei Chaim, there's a mitzvah now for you to remove that Tsar Ba'alei Chaim, and you cannot charge for that because you're decreed upon by the Torah that you have to take it off. However, when it comes to loading an animal, there is no Tsar Ba'alei Chaim, and you're loading the animal, you're helping your friend, and that's it. So that one you're allowed to charge. And what do you mean? So it's not a mitzvah to help my friend load? So there's another additional factor here. That in the first time when the load was too heavy for the animal, why did it fall off the animal's back? Because it was too heavy. And if it would stay on the animal's back for longer, what would happen? What would happen? The animal would become damaged. So there's a chisaron kis here. That's another mitzvah. So besides the Rabbanan holding Tsar Ba'alei Chaim, they also hold of protecting your neighbor's pockets. Chisaron kis. So you have chisaron kis and you have Tsar Ba'alei Chaim. So Rabban Shimon says both of these you have to do for free because the Torah writes that these two psukim, without any of these technicalities, it writes two psukim and you have to follow both. So what's the halacha? So at that point, the Gemara over there starts arguing. Is Tsar Ba'alei Chaim deoraita or not? If you hold it's deoraita, then okay, we see the point of the Rabbanan, and of course Rabbi Shimon, no question. But maybe Tsar Ba'alei Chaim is not enough for Rabbanan, that they had to come and latch onto chisaron kis, your neighbor losing money. So what exactly is the mission of Tsar Ba'alei Chaim that the Gemara is bringing? Is it to tell you Tsar Ba'alei Chaim is deoraita and that's why you have to do it for free? And if you're going to tell me that Tsar Ba'alei Chaim, which means causing pain to animals, is an Isser deoraita, what if a goy Because what does it say? Ki tir'eh chamor sona'acha. The Gemara teaches what's sona'acha? A Jew that you hate, not a goy that you hate. If you see a Jew that you hate, and what does that mean? I don't know. You have to ask the Breslovers. But if you see a Jew that you hate, and you have to help him, right? So what about a goy's animal? If you have a goy's animal, if it's tsar ba'alei chayim, it doesn't matter whose animal it is. Pain to animals, pain to animal, goy or Jew. So what's the halacha? I think I'm going to start with, maybe we'll start with the tour? Yeah, we'll start with the tour. Yeah, Chavod, Warlam.
I mentioned that the reason also comes out of conclusion, the reason why there's no problem by the king, because it's more hashub to touch the tendons, and the king overcomes bover over Tabal, right?
Yeah.
So the question is that, was that similar to the fact that when you do shechita, when you kill an animal, you're obviously hurting an animal, but in order to kill animals, you gotta kill them. So we do it in the least harmful way possible, but obviously there's gonna be some, you might grab it, you might this, you might that, the least way possible, but the same way, like Sabal Haim is Hutra, because you have to kill an animal to eat the animal, right? For, let's say, for the Hagim or whatever you want to eat the animal. So too over here, it's the same way, in the same methodology, it's also being, Sabal Haim is being Hoter.
I see the logic, it's good logic, but I want to see where it says shchita is tsar ba'alei chayim.
An animal, but there's no bigger sound than death.
But again, the tsar ba'alei chayim is not killing. Tsar ba'alei chayim is pain, long-term pain or even immediate pain, and then the animal's lingering after. That's why the Gemara is saying if you cut the tendon in the animal and now the animal's alive. So Tosfot is saying, why isn't the Gemara asking about this pain that the animal's going to live with after? You know, we have an Achilles tendon. It's right behind our ankles. You know, if you ever have a door, scrape that just a little bit. You can't wear shoes after, the socks hurt, everything hurts. So how could it be that the Gemara is not asking even about Tsar Ba'alei Chayim? So Tosfot, now that we brought this Gemara in Bava Metzia, and it'll make sense that what Tosfot is asking, what the Chiddush of Tosfot is, are you telling me burning the things that belong to the king and hurting the animal of the king so that no one else could use it overpowers an Isser Deoraita of Tsar Ba'alei Chayim? That's the question that he's really bringing out. If we say it's a Derabanan, then okay, you could say Yeshayahu's Pasuk is so strong that it'll override a Derabanan. I hear that. But a Deoraita, I need to see that. So we have to, can I have, Baraka, could you get me a Bava Metzia, please? Thank you so much. It's possible. Yeah, it's same. Yeah, Reish Ayin Bet. Here. Kaimalan. What is the word Kaimalan? Established first, which means this is the halacha. And the Shulchan Aruch, everything paskins like this tour that we're about to read. It says here, Kaimalan, we established Tsar Ba'alei Chayim Deoraita. The tour says, causing pain to animals is a Isur Deoraita. Lefichach, therefore, Af b'makom she'eno chayav lifrok, even in a place where you don't have to necessarily take off the load. Kegon bechamor she'u ravtzan, for example, a donkey that is a ravtzan. You know what ravtzan means? He's a, he's a attitude, donkey with attitude. Or shehu omed, or he decides to kick and stay, he's stubborn. Or she'abal halach ve'yashavlo ve'amarlo perok, or for example, the owner of the donkey said, "Yo, go unload my donkey," and he's going to sit there smoke a cigarette while you do it. Shepatur mitzad prika. At that point, he holds that he doesn't have to do prika. Chayav mishum tsa'ar ba'alei chayim. So if you say, I don't have to do it, you're chayav mishum tsa'ar ba'alei chayim. So although you're right, the tzad of actual prika to help your neighbor, you don't have to. Because it says azov ta'azov imo in the Torah. So if a guy says, the famous thing, in every yeshiva they say this. If you're coming and you need help to change the tires, and somebody comes and says, I'll help you change the tires, and then you sit in the car while he's doing it, you have permission to leave. It's true. But when it comes to animals, you have no permission to leave. You have to help, even if the guy decides not to. Why not? Mishum tsar ba'alei chayim. The kaimalan, the tsar ba'alei chayim, deoraita. So we have two avenues here. One is to help your neighbor. He wants to be a loser, let him be a loser. You still have a chiyuv deoraita to help the animal. Mishum tsar ba'alei chayim deoraita. Okay, so what about a goy? See, next halakha, he brings here in the tour. If, by the way, he says if you want, it makes a difference. If he wants to give him money, he's allowed to accept it. Meaning he doesn't have to charge, but if he wants to take money for this, you can. Now, ein chiyuv te'ina. What does it mean te'ina? To load. You don't have to load an animal. Ela be'Yisrael. To load an animal, there's a mitzvah to help a Jew load an animal. So that's the pshat in the Gemara and Baba Metzia. All right? Avalo begoy, but not a goy. Ela shechachamim amru bebehemat akum. Ima akum. Sham tzarich lit'on imo mishum eva. If a goy is standing there and he says, I need help loading, and he's going to see that there's a Jew there that helps other Jews all the time, but the goy is going to see now the Jew is not going to come help him, we are worried about eva. Eva means animosity between goyim. Just help him load his thing and that's it, right? And this is specifically by animals. Now, what about unloading the donkey of a goy? Ufrika chayav. You're obligated to unload even a non-Jewish donkey. Afilu ein ha'akum sham. Even if the goy is not there, he left his animal in the street with a bunch of stuff on its back. You have to unload it. Why? Tsar ba'alei chayim. And we hold okminan, kaimalan, the tsar ba'alei chayim is deoraita.
So it's because it's deoraita that we rule like this.
Yeah.
Even if it's a goy and he's not even there, we should do it anyway.
Correct. So pop quiz question, somebody asks you one day, if a goy has his donkey in the street and the donkey is suffering from the weight, do you have a mitzvah to help the goy unload his donkey? The answer is yes. It's not because of the goy, it's because we feel bad for the animal.
Yeah.
It's hard ba'alei chayim.
Now we have hospitals.
What? You think the hospitals don't call Tsar ba'alei chayim? I'm not kidding you.
When
I know a very religious person who adopted a dog because in the adoption place, they have, what do you call it? Kennels. Cages. They were treating the dog like not feeding it, nothing, electric prongs. They were hurting the animal. So they saw every day they would come, hang out, see the dog. They went and they told their family. Their family took the dog for 3 weeks till somebody else bought it, till somebody else took it off them. Goy or I don't know who took it. Jews shouldn't own a vicious dog. A little poodle, it's not a dog, it's a rabbit. But the Gemara says a kelev ra, or a kelev shoteh, or a kelev that its bark scares people. You're not allowed to own that dog unless it's for guarding and you get a heter, right?
Oh, so
it can cause damage to people, no?
Miscarriages, yeah.
Then what's the problem with go hunting?
Killing animals isn't about, no, killing animals through shchita. I want to see where you said shchita.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and hunting also, it's not a pashut sugya. Huh? I didn't say that. You said shchita. Shchita is not a headshot.
He said hunting.
No, before.
He said shchita, yeah.
Instantaneous death. Is Sabbath or Sabbath?
Do you know, one time I cut my hand with a shchita knife. I didn't know I cut it till a minute later. You know how sharp it is?
So a guy was shot in the head. His brain won't even process the thing.
How do we know? We don't know. We have Mesorah that tells us shchita is painless. We have no Mesorah that tells us getting shot in the head is painless.
So you're saying
No, it's possible. Shchita, of course.
No, I'm saying it's a surah that that's painless completely.
Of course. And
What's possible, how painless? Absolutely no pain whatsoever? Or just a little
if you want to say the tfisa maybe is pain, holding the animal, wrestling that cow to the ground. What's tsar ba'alei chaim? We need shimush for this to know what's exactly considered tsar to the degree that it's an avera, the oraita.
So if it's tsar to the degree, Rabbi,
Says it's not. How could that be tsar? It doesn't hurt. Let me tie your hands. You're in pain. So tie your hands for a second, and then you're dead. Not you. I'm saying, tie the animal's hands for a second, and then it's dead. It's not like you left him tied in a room, starving for months.
Like the chickens before Kabbalot, sitting there for like weeks.
100%, especially sometimes when it's cold that time. They're outside, you know.
Nobody feeds them.
That is. And I also don't know if it's Sar Ba'alei Chaim after the Shechita when the guy chucks it into the garbage can. I don't know why he has to do that.
It's a workout. Wait, but isn't the animal dead already?
1 second.
Yeah, that's not